Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching that movie. We certainly had a lot of fun making it. I hope that Gabriel, if you're watching, I apologize for we really had a lot of fun making fun of Armando. The backstory there was that Gabriel was having internet connections the night of the RPG stream and really wasn't able to participate in most of the session. And since there was this bit about the horses bucking and getting riled up by the monster, we just decided that Armando stayed on his horse and went galloping across the plains, took a wild ride. And that turned into a pretty humorous acting bit by Rennie galloping on the horse from his chair over Zoom. And it was just absolutely hilarious. But yeah, so what'd you guys think?
I mean, I always enjoy seeing what happens because I purposely only read the bits that I have to say, so that I can be surprised as like how they fit into what's going on. Only as surprised as you can be since I saw the RPG session, I sort of had an idea of where it was going, but
Right.
It was really fun. It's really fun to see how it was woven together.
By the way, so I should introduce everybody here. If you're watching us, this is currently our crew here for these shows. Sarah Moore is our guest tonight, but is also on crew as our social media princess. Steve Conard is my business partner, creative partner. We've been BFFs for really decades, literally 40 years now. And
not that old.
You barely recognize each other anymore. You're not the guy I met 40 years ago.
Had a little more hair.
Yeah, and Markus Maes, our technical producer. Usually he's behind the curtain, but we like the idea of us all being here. And XiaoWen Wu will be joining us shortly. And the connection between XiaoWen and Sarah as our guest tonight is that they're both affiliated with Pansy. XiaoWen created the character Pansy, and Sarah performs the character Pansy. So fun stuff.
Yeah, Pansy's a treat. I can't wait to talk about her.
Yeah. So we and Steve, how you feel about how the movie turned out?
Oh, well, I think it's loads of fun. It's amazing how fast we turn it around. You and I were talking this morning about there's something really fun about getting something done in a matter of a week, as opposed to 5 years or whatever, some other crazy, amount of time we put towards some of our projects. So, I mean, it's like the show's going live. It's like, we got to have it done. Right. And there's no time to waste.
Yeah.
A friend of mine used to say it's good enough for who it's for. So,
wait, well, XiaoWen is here. Let's bring her in. Join the mayhem.
Sounds good. One moment.
And I'm trying to get my chat lined up and make it look like, of course, I'm not doing that, but of course I am doing that.
That's okay.
All right.
No one knows.
And shout out. I was communicating with a lot of you during the movie on chat. See a lot of my friends there, Moon and Daryl and Denise, Stefano, and Jake was there for a while too, and XiaoWen. So thanks for coming in and hanging out with us and on the Twitch chat. It's fun. XiaoWen, welcome to the show.
Yay!
How are you?
Hey. Where's my voice?
Can we hear you?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Don't fix it. It's working.
Don't do anything else.
Here you go.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear now.
Awesome.
Yay!
Everybody, this is XiaoWen Wu's just joined us. XiaoWen created the character Pansy and role plays the character. Determines the fate of this lovely halfling with the grabby fingers.
Lots of mischief. Lots of mischief, I've noticed.
Yes.
Lots of mischief.
Sneaky.
So what we like to do is the idea here is get the actor and the RPG player together at the same time and talk a little bit about this common bond. first of all, is this awkward? You know.
No,
Not for me.
not for me
I'm good.
either. Yes,
Good.
I'm excited to meet.
Okay.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, how are you doing?
Doing great. And
This
thanks
is the
for-
first time we've gotten to like actually speak to each other, which is really cool.
Exactly. Yes, and it was so much fun just watching the movie. It's even more fun than playing the character. Get to watch it.
Well, it's
Yeah.
the joy of being able to take 4 hours and cram it down to 20 minutes, right?
Best.
What is it like to watch somebody else playing a person that you made?
It's funny, you know, sometimes in the Chinese there's old saying, it's like you don't know how the mountain looks like because you're living in the mountains. You know, you don't see the mountain because you're living there. So, you know, when I play the character, I'm kind of like, sometimes I just go with the flow, you know, It's like, okay, we'll see how it goes. And then you kind of turn around and you see this, you know, somebody's playing this. It's like, oh, and all of a sudden the personality of this character start like all of a sudden showing you like, oh, this is Pansy. Like this is how she looks like from other people's eyes. So it's very interesting. I love it.
Cool.
Good.
Yeah, I watch all the RPG sessions, and you have this like infectious joy in created mischief.
Very true.
Like you're so like it just makes you want to like, I want to what is she stealing? I want to help with that. Like that looks like the most fun out of what everybody's doing right now. So I try to channel that a little bit because you just have this like sunbeam of a personality, which is really funny for a rogue who's supposed to be kind of under the radar. So there's most of Pansy is just like what I see of you.
That's awesome.
If
That's pretty cool.
Peter,
Well, and there's go ahead, Marcus.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask if there ever is some kind of magic spell, something that happens that creates two pansies. Would this party survive? If we get Sarah,
Be a violet.
yes.
No. We'd probably take everybody down, but it would be super fun.
Yes.
Be a
Yes.
blast.
Yeah,
Wow.
nobody
I
would
think the
complain.
rest of the group will be trying to keep up with this two pansy to clean up the mess they made.
Yeah, that feels right.
Well, it'd be funny if they both thought that there's a real pansy and the other one is like an evil plant or something, and they're both trying
Yeah,
to
it wasn't
steal from the
me. It
other
was
one.
the other one.
Steal
Other
something
one.
only the
That's the
real
other
pansy
one.
would steal.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's well, I think it's you're talking about the character and like how XiaoWen, how you play the character, and then and you were commenting about how watching Sarah perform it. There's also Steve in this loop because the performance that the role playing that you're doing at the table, XiaoWen, is then getting adapted to this screenplay, and this part is kind of invisible to you. It should be, and then script comes out, and then the actor gets that. So, Steve, how do you feel like about
Steve
being
is the third pansy.
Yeah.
Steve's the invisible pansy.
We were laughing when the part about where she makes the comment about the small bag, the bag of holding, that small thing, and we were laughing that on the outside it would look like she was just asked, well, it's really small, and we're all thinking, no, she's thinking about how she can steal it, right? That's why Sarah's response was like, oh, that small thing, I wonder how I could take it. Yeah, I mean, we're also, I think it's fun torturing the players. In particular, in this episode, I think it came off so well, is how'd you like the bees?
Oh, did you see my earrings?
Oh, no, I can't really see them through the resolution.
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's my bee earrings.
Oh, those are
Nice.
great.
Well, we knew
It's-
that when you had your backstory about how you stole the bees, and we're like, okay, we know we have to like torture her and by bringing bees, and then of course Tanil just took it to a whole nother level with the flying circus. I think my comment was when I saw the art, I go, wow, these guys could have their own TV show and be
I'd watch
just
it.
fine.
Yes, yes.
Totally. Well, it's so funny too. It's a serendipity moment here about the bees, because you came up with this idea for your character, XiaoWen, without any prompting from me or anybody else. And I happen to know that Sarah loves bees.
Two of bees.
And
Nice.
she has a character in my Burning Wheel campaign that raises bees. Was aviarist? Is that it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Apiarist with
Apiarist.
Apiarist.
Yeah, yeah. So that was just kind of funny. And then, and Daryl mentioned on chat that XiaoWen's natural role player. You really are, XiaoWen. I mean, and like the idea. I asked all the players, XiaoWen, of course, and the other 4 players, to come up with a backstory of how their character got arrested. How their character get it? I just said, just tell me a backstory that gets you arrested. I'll take it from there. And so, XiaoWen, you came up with this great idea that, well, I like bees, and I was writing bees, and they got loose in the city. Mayhem.
There's a little bit of murder involved, I think.
A couple deaths might have.
Yeah.
A couple
Just
people might have
A
died.
little bit of murder. Never hurt anyone.
I mean, that's just brilliant.
Like small murder. It wasn't a lot. It's fine.
Well, actually, I think it's part because Peter, because I read about Chaldea and halfling in Chaldea, and in the script saying halflings raising giant bees. So I'm like, oh, that's a great idea.
Mhm.
So I'm asking Peter's like, hey, Peter, can I have some bees? And Peter, of course, being
Yeah.
DM, he's like, maybe, maybe one time you had it, but you don't have it anymore. I'm like, fine, it's like, so. And then in our meeting, he's like, okay, you guys are going to come up how you end up in jail. I'm like, huh, I have an idea.
Well,
So-
I've always liked the idea of halflings on bees, and I think it's a little PTSD from playing. Steve will know this reference, playing Russ Woodall's campaign back in the '80s, who was like this really sort of killer DM type of guy, and his world was always really tough. You're always just sweating bullets whenever you played in his world. And I remember one encounter with a bunch of halflings on giant wasps with
Ooh.
slings and firing like
yeah.
3 shots around, like 10 of them.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
just like practically
Bullet
got
hell.
our
Height advantage.
asses
Don't forget height
handed to
advantage.
us by slings. What's that, Steve?
That's be fun.
I said, don't forget about the whole height advantage.
Height advantage, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yes. We're not short on the bees.
No,
We're the giants.
death
So,
from above.
So XiaoWen, what tell us about creating the character. Like, what process did you go through? Like, what were some of the things you were thinking about in your journey towards landing on Pansy, halfling, female, rogue? Did you consider other options, or did you just immediately know, I want to play a halfling thief?
I think I'm a big Hobbit Lord of the Rings fan. And there's a lot of influence in that. And I always wanted to play a rogue and just, a halfling, a hobbit. That's just perfect. I think that's something that it's like my perfect character. And so yeah, from beginning, I just like, yeah, I know what I'm going to play. And Pansy, because the reason I picked the name Pansy is tough. It's like, I love to gardening, and, in the spring, one of the first thing coming out is pansy. Even when everything's snowing, pansy's blooming. So it's like, that's just, a rogue, an orphan girl on the streets, and it's being tough. She's tough. She's trying to be tough because she's still young. So, so this is this idea of she's of halfling trying to find herself, find her identity. I think that's part of the reason why she learned there's the halflings. She's a halfling, and halfling has bees. She got hold of bees, and she's trying herself to train them. Of course, things didn't go well.
I
Yeah,
love
so
that.
the story just all come together.
I love that naming convention. That's such a good way to think about naming a character. Usually, I just look at the paper or something in front of me like, oh, salt, pepper. Those are characters. That's a really good story behind that name.
Did you have any hidden meaning behind Lightfoot? You chose Lightfoot as your last name, Pansy Lightfoot.
Yeah, I think just she's a rogue, and she's a thief, so a Lightfoot is perfect. At least that's what she wanted to be. Of course, she's a little stout halfling, so she's trying to be Lightfoot.
I'm commenting to Denise is watching, said that I'm kind of generous DM by letting Pansy have the bee backstory, but I'm like, not really kind. It's like, give it to you, then take it away. Like you have the bee in the backstory, and then you don't get the bee. By the time you're actually playing the character, you don't have the bee anymore. And in fact, it's gotten you in jail. So yeah, Denise,
But it was Grand Theft
disagree.
Giant Bee, right?
Yeah.
What's that? See,
Wasn't it Grand Theft Giant Bee?
Grand Theft Giant Bee.
Right, Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto. I think it was that the bees got loose and in the city. Giant bees loose in the city. That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah. Well, we don't know where the giant bee went, right, Peter?
Yeah, who knows?
It's
all
somewhere.
backstory at this
Yeah,
point.
you don't need to worry about that too much. I'm sure it'll never come back.
I'm sure it'll not show up ever again.
No.
There are new giant bees for you to think about.
Well, there's a 5 somewhere nearby.
There's the flying circus.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the rules don't say anything about stealing other mounts. Like, it's just you can't kill other players, not necessarily take their stuff. Like,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
if the bee went gone loose.
we'd be doing a service,
Yeah,
really,
that wouldn't even be
to
your
the rest of
fault.
the people.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
we're just trying to preventing these bees killing people.
Honestly, it's a responsible thing to do.
Yeah. Clearly, those halflings don't have any idea what they're doing.
No,
And
you don't ride a
And-
bee underneath. What's wrong with you? Come on.
and Pansy has such a great track record of keeping bees under control.
Excellent.
She
Excellent
learns.
with
She
bees.
learns. She's a very fast learner. Who knows? Maybe she now she knows the trick.
Yeah.
We just have to find out.
What is the writing skill to write a bee? It's not just a
Well,
writing skill.
I mean, I'm still learning 5th edition, but it feels to me like 5th edition is pretty like general, like there's just a few skills and they cover a lot of things. And so I think it's animal handling is what I made everybody roll for keeping control of their horses or landing off their mount. So I think animal handling would be the skill.
Just hope I'm not like a Mondo.
Yeah.
Well, I think you were in the city, right?
Yeah, right.
Whoops.
So, so what were your favorite parts of the movie tonight? Anybody? This is about Pansy or not. Marcus, what was your favorite part of the movie tonight?
So I unfortunately spoiled the Armando riding on the horse thing to the rest of the people who haven't seen it. But that made me laugh so hard when I was going through the video when I first got it. That was fantastic. I actually want to give a shout out to the pacing and the energy. This was really fun. I really enjoyed this one.
Thank you. Oh, good.
I'm gonna take this and pass it to someone else.
Popcorn. I'll catch it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed seeing the finished pieces of Tanel's art. I thought the art in this one was really cool. We got to see that awesome tunnel terror. We got to see the bee flying circus. We got to see the iconic we're getting ready to go out on an adventure kind of thing. I thought that was really, really cool.
I enjoyed I enjoyed just hearing the dialogue, but I think for this one, the one I really wanted to see how the fight was going to turn out. Peter and I had a conversation about, I have no idea how we're going to do this fight sequence so that it feels fast and things are happening, but it's not super long and we're not feeling dice rolling and that sort of thing through the film. So, I mean, D&D is about hack and slash, when you get down to the action. So how do we display that? So I thought it turned out great.
Yeah,
Because I think,
sorry.
so how long's the fight actually? Like how many rounds was that? It was 3 rounds?
3 or 4
I think
maybe.
it's more than that.
I think maybe 5.
With the worst dice roller ever.
The PCs just couldn't do any damage. It was
mean-
the dogs. It was
Somebody
the
did make a
dogs.
comment that the dogs did. I think it actually was.
Yeah.
Thor.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, the
Yeah,
dogs did all
the dog
the
did all the work.
Yeah.
Well, when I was writing the script, I went through and I went round by round and was writing it down and go, oh my God, the dogs did everything.
And it was funny because Peter, at the first strike, the tunnel terror, almost killed a cow.
Oh yeah, like right off the bat.
Right off the bat. Like
Straight to
cow's
zero.
like, I think I'm dead.
For some reason, the healer went in first to combat.
everybody went in.
dove in.
No,
the
if you
tunnel
remember,
turret came up
somebody
right in
missed the
middle of
group
party.
initiative.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was,
right.
It was right in the middle of everybody. So it was funny because right off the bat, the very first attack, cleric is out of action. And Daryl said in chat he was worried it was a TPK. I was worried it was a TPK.
Mhm.
I was like, oh shit, I don't really have my skill set dialed in on ad-libbing stats of monsters in 5th edition. Oh well.
We know who to blame, right? We actually need to blame Tanel. We were laughing because we were like, Tanel, what's this monster look like? And she just started DMing it like, okay, like the ground's shaking and you're scared and it boom. And
And she's keep drawing these teeth and the claw. I'm like,
it was just getting worse and
how
worse.
many teeth this thing has?
Well, yeah, that was pretty funny. Like how many? Well, it needs Tanel needs some of the legs to stand on, right? She's like, yeah, just 3, just 3.
2 or 3. That's all.
3 is plenty. You could attack with the other 5. Great, love it.
No, Tanel, it needs more to stand on, right? Come on. Work
By the
with
way,
us.
for me, my favorite part of the RPG session was actually the fight because it was something cool about watching the fight happening, the dice rolling and everything, and I was just glued to the terror coming to life. It was getting worse and worse and worse. It was almost like it was coming out of the fog of war, right? It was like, oh my God, this thing's terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. So XiaoWen, what was your favorite part of the movie?
I think, like Sarah and Marcus said, Armando is, we were laughing when we play, and it's like we, like, and the art, like, when Tanel like showed the tarot, I think I remember Claude was saying like, can we go back to seeing that, the hero walk into the sunrise instead of this thing? I get a nightmare. So it was just a really amazing artwork. And I also have to say, I actually really enjoy Pierre, the Pierre and the Pansy, this interaction. That's just, it's like, it's unexpected.
Right.
That was, yes.
Well, and
yeah.
it's funny because I think most people watching this don't realize that there's a family dynamic here of that James, who plays Pierre, is your stepson. Is that the right?
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's funny. Yeah, and James
Yep.
did great. So.
He did a really great job, and Peter just threw this Pierre character. At the beginning, I thought it was, I'm just stealing a dagger, and off we go, bye. And Peter just wouldn't let it go.
Well, I mean, you give me something like that, I'm gonna try to turn it into a story, right? It's
Right?
like, okay, you got you got a +1 dagger, bye, whatever. No, you're gonna go steal a dagger. It's gonna be a moment. I mean, I think there's always this tug of war in DMing that you do want some things in life to be kind of routine, right? Thieves should be able to go around and pick pockets, and if they're a good thief, they should be able to just kind of make a living that way. And most of the time, it's no big deal. And so there's a part of you that wants to make it that way sometimes. But then, of course, it's a story, and we're performing. We're on Twitch. You know, you're going to steal something. Now, let's make it. First of all, let's make the dagger really interesting, and let's make the guy really mad. And there's the shopkeeper there. That Lauren played, and the way the script turned out, it seemed to me, reflecting back, pretty obvious that it wouldn't have been hard for Cordelia to connect the dots, and figured, I bet it was that halfling that came in here. And because from Pierre's perspective, it would have been a fairly short window of time between, it wouldn't have taken him long to realize he didn't have the dagger. The dagger is really important to him, and you guys are going to find out why. So,
well,
Yeah.
also I'm so disappointed in the shopkeeper, because we had moments together of bonding
right.
over this guy and how much he sucks, and now you're gonna turn me in.
Yeah, I know.
But-
Shame
okay,
on
so
you.
the Linwood soft goods are owned by elves, and she's just the shopkeeper. She doesn't actually own it. So Pierre would have talked to the ownership, who would have then put pressure on poor Cordelia. And that's why
the way
she
I was
spilled the
thinking of it is that I was thinking as Longy came in and put pressure on Cordelia, and Longy,
Lanji, who has their own agenda for sure.
well, the basically a mob boss, running,
It's a
running.
protection racket.
Yeah, it's a
right?
protection racket.
Yeah.
And actually, a good thing is there's a protection racket, because the government here is collapsed basically. So good, the Chan Guild jump in and keep things going.
So on top of the Sumerian hunt, this is a hidden clue that I guess we all have to just see how it goes.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, there's a hidden clue. There's a hint, DM hint. The dagger is pretty interesting. More to come. More to come about Pierre. More to come about the hunt. More to come about the dagger. So, yeah, I want to say my favorite thing from this episode is that Sarah is an excellent actor. But last week you just brought your A game, Sarah, like I've
Thank
never
you.
seen before. Like your acting. I'm not saying you were the only good actor. We had a lot of good actors. We're blessed
Sure.
with having some great actors. But you just knocked it out of the park, girl.
Yeah, you lit
I
up
get
Studio B.
Pansy. I get her.
High
she's-
five.
Yeah, high five.
I mean, I
For
can almost
free.
quote you like, "Put it in the bag," double points.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was Torgrim's line.
Yeah, that was Torgrim. She's just fun to play, and so it's not hard to
Can they
keep
follow
it.
me? Can they? Is
this me? I don't think this is legal.
Plus,
got
you
to-
also like playing rogues too.
I
Right.
love rogues. Rogues for
So
life. That's
you're-
me.
Yeah, you're not really outside your comfort zone, I don't think.
No, but also I think it's I got to sort of really lean into the fact that Pansy is young this time, and so I let her get a little pouty. Things aren't going my way, and I don't want it. You got to sort of lean into how would a younger person react to this? He's he's picking on me. I don't like it. Yeah, she gets to be kind of bigger than Sarah gets to be in real life, so it's nice.
my favorite moment of bragging about myself, my favorite thing that I did was right in the moment having this idea to tell James, just repeat what she said.
The whiny bit was awesome.
Yeah.
You know how bully does in school, and you say, let's say, leave me alone, and James just immediately got it. I totally understand you, and then just nailed it in one take. It's awesome.
Props to you. That was a very fun moment.
That was fun.
It was fun unleashing John JJ as a barbarian.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Also very fun.
Okay, you need to rage. Which,
Yeah.
short commute for him, I guess.
Well, John is John playing this character, Torgrim. I hope Daryl I hope Daryl likes the performance, because I think it's fantastic.
I like the colorful phrases that Torgrim inserts into everything.
Well, Daryl's inserting his own colorful phrases,
Uh-huh.
and then Steve's riffing off of those to
Yep.
add his. And it was so lovely to get Jen Albertalli into this story as Soraka, because we had a whole storyline in our original plans for Chaldea, which were way too big. And so we cut out about half the storylines. And unfortunately, one of the storylines we cut was a romance story between two dwarves, Quell Geldzon and Soraka Cloudforge. And Jen dressed up as a dwarf at some cosplay event, and I go, "That's
Gen
Soraka."
Con.
It was perfect. It was Gen Con. Yeah.
Remember Gen Con?
Yeah, and so I was always, you always, as a director, you always feel bad when you have to disappoint an actor and say, "Sorry, this role got cut, or this story got cut, or whatever." It's the worst part, And so it was fun to get back to Jen and say, "Hey, I have an idea. We could bring Soraka into this story, and you could play Soraka. Finally, it's not the same deal as before." And Jen was thrilled to be up to it. And it was fun to design a scene that would be a very different sort of scene for Torgrim also. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because Peter had written this very large story about Soraka and her husband. And wow, I mean, it's significant. And I think it even got started to be turned into a novel at one point. And so anyway, of all the characters that have showed up so far in Samarian Hunt, Soraka is the one that's most well realized at this point. It was easy just to put her in there, know exactly who she was and how she would react and talk. And anyway, so
Yeah.
That's actually kind of interesting, because you were talking at the Chaldea live interview about the writing, about understanding and finding the character's voice. So that was just a pretty easy thing for you to step into as a writer, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you find that it was easier to write this episode, like piggybacking on like now that the characters of the RPG are more established? Like, was it easier for you to?
Well, yeah. Once you understand, yes, exactly. Once you understand how the actors are delivering their lines and they're responding and whatnot, then it made it a lot easier. I mean, one of the decisions we made was we decided, well, we should bring Rahat and Razine back, right? Give them a small scene, and because we just love both their performances so much, and that's a perfect example. So, Razine, remember, he's little hint to the players, he's running around Graver's Dig now somewhere. I don't need to remind you, I guess, but anyway. But yeah, that definitely made it easier. The big unknown here was we didn't do any fighting in the first episode, so we were like, I mentioned earlier, I'm not sure how the fighting was going to happen, so I was a little nervous there. So
I'm a little nervous too. What's next episode of fighting?
Right.
Gonna be?
I actually all thought you were going to die too. When I was watching it live, I was like, I'm writing notes going, oh my God.
Well, I had this momentarily, like, I was like, oh my God. And then it didn't take me long to realize, oh, wait a minute. Everybody's forgetting about the dogs. I know better. The dogs. And, if worse comes to worse, I could have the spiders start attacking the dogs or something. I don't know, anyway.
Can I speak for Claw?
Yeah.
Yeah. I should get at least 50% of the XPs from the dogs, since I went out and acquired the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was some good hustling out of Claw.
Dog Doggo and Doggiest or whatever she has great names for all the.
So hey, XiaoWen, one question I want to ask you before we go. So based on what you're seeing so far in the story now, based on what you've been able to play and what the character has experienced, what you've experienced as a player. So what are some of your hopes for Pansy? Like what's Pansy's goal? What's her belief? Like where does she want? Where is she hoping this story will go?
I think, like I said, Pansy, she is an orphan, but in Chaldea, the halfling is actually pretty tight community. So she's always trying to find her roots back to halfling groups, and but of course she grew. She grew in the as a rogue and the Thieves Guild, and she's young and she's ambitious, and she always trying to be the the best thief in Chaldea, and that's why one of the reasons. And so for all these reasons, I think that's why she, like, whenever she goes, she always looking for something to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I think that's what just she trying to be the best of her, and maybe one day she can find her bee back, maybe. But she will always try to find the opportunity to prove she's the best thief in Chaldea. I think that's, and maybe find back home to be halfling in the halfling community.
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe you'll make friends with the halflings that are on the hunt.
Yeah, well, we'll find out.
I mean, you're setting the bar to find DB that you used to own. That's setting the bar pretty high,
No, I didn't say the bee. I said find a bee. A bee.
Okay.
A bee. Maybe.
Well, there might be opportunities. Who knows? You might be able to, win your way into their hearts somehow, or steal one, whatever.
Pansy is very charming, I think. Just turn her loose on those halflings. It's gonna happen.
Well, do we have any other questions for Sarah or XiaoWen, or should we call it a night?
I just want to say y'all are awesome. Like you guys both, the RPG and then the performance side of it, fantastic across the board. So thank you for being here with us.
Thank
you.
you. And thank you, Sarah, for being such a good player with Pansy. Like, you are way beyond my imagination of how Pansy should be.
Thank you so much. I'm glad that I'm doing her justice for you.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Love Fest, you guys. Love Fest. Everywhere. I love it.
I just had to
have
go
4 more episodes.
Yes. Just don't do TPK, Peter.
Oh. Well, that's what I have
no.
planned for the next episode.
The next episode's called TPK. Did we not tell you?
No,
Oops.
it's going to be episode 6. We're just going to play D&D, and then the season's going to just end suddenly after 6 episomes. And
we don't know why.
Cliffhangers.
It's going to be Rahat is going to show up to collect her money and do all.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Pierre's gonna be like, "Where's my dagger?"
Yes, Stephanos. At first, you got to get their hopes up.
That's true.
Oh, it's all about the bees. All right. All right. Well, oh gosh, so much fun. Thank you all for sticking around and chatting with us and hanging out with us. This is a lot of fun. Thank you very much to XiaoWen Wu and Sarah Moore for coming in and talking about Pansy today. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad, XiaoWen, I'm really glad that you're enjoying the game and that you're enjoying Pansy's or Sarah's performance as Pansy.
I've become Pansy now.
Yay.
I really had no doubt about this combination. I really didn't. I know both of you, even though you only met tonight for the first time. I've known both of you for quite a while, and this was an easy,
it's a good match.
Yeah, this was easy to do. So so thanks for joining us. We will be back next week here on Actoroke. We're here every week, every Thursday evening, 6 p.m. till whenever on Pacific time, 6 p.m. And we are here on twitch.tv/Gilding Light. We upload our episodes to YouTube tomorrow. All our old episodes are up there. I mean, there's only the second episode. But each episode has 3 parts: the RPG session, the actor studio, and the viewing party with Actorspokee, is what we did tonight. So next week when we come back, we will continue this succession campaign into episode 3. By the end of episode 3, that will be the midpoint of our story. And let's see, a narrative structure, that is where the true nature of the threat is revealed. I mean, who knows? Maybe not. We'll find out what happens. So please join us next week and follow the adventures of Pansy and all the other ones. Claw. Every time I go to list them, I end up missing one. Claw, Armando, Calcimere, and Torgrim. Woohoo! I did it. Okay.
Ball bearings.
There we go.
Nailed it. The ball bearings.
So yes, come follow us on youtube.com/World of Chaldea, our channel there. Also on our social media, we are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as @World of Chaldea. And we will be back here next week. Thank you for coming and watching us. I'm docking this way to confuse Marcus about when Peter.
So he doesn't know
finger
when
is
we're
on the
gonna go
button.
out.
I'm just gonna keep talking. He's gonna.
He's
Cut
He's
some
gonna
off.
hit the
gonna
button.
Shatner it until we're out. You know that.
Okay, I'm going to slowly press